What's going on, guys? It's Stu here from Trial Talk. I hope you're all keeping good. How can we keep busy as plasterers in an economy that's suffering? Topic of today's video. Now guys, if you've not subscribed to the channel, consider that you do, because we cover everything plastering related on and off the tools. We've also got a thriving Facebook group, Trial Talk, so subscribe, jump on the Facebook group if you haven't already done so. So today we're going to talk about how do we keep busy as self-employed plasterers, how do we keep the leads coming in, how do we keep the money coming in 2023 in an economy that might be a bit anxious. People are tightening their belts, they're scared to spend. Now, you might be wondering why I'm sat here in front of a partially painted wall with a paintbrush in my hand. And the reason for that is, when I price my plastering jobs up, unlike many other plasterers in my area, I'm going to be removing radiators, I'm going to be removing power points, light fixtures, light switches, furniture. Now, you might think, so what? There's going to be a lot of guys, my competition and your competition in your area, where plasterers are unwilling to do these things. Why? Because it's a pain in the arse. Potential problems can arise. Some people just have a bad attitude where they think it's not my job, why should I? I'm just a plasterer. Now, you've got to get into the head of your customers. Now, if you price a job up to plaster out a room, most people are unaware what's involved. You price a job up for a room and you start saying, right, you need an electrician to remove all these downlights for me. You're going to need a plumber now to remove that radiator for me so I can skim behind there. I need all the sofas moved out of my way for me, please. And you're going to have to get rid of the waste, because I don't do that. So I'll leave bags of rubble here for you to dispose of. You've just created 4 or 5 problems for your potential customer. So you're hitting them with problems. Now, I can fully understand and appreciate why plasterers don't want to do things like remove rads, because if they're old, they can weep, they can leak. You could pop one of the valves and end up causing a tsunami all over the floor. I understand, I get it, I've been there myself. But by doing it, by learning the skills, by buying a handful of tools and training yourself and learning the skills to remove a radiator, for example, that could be the difference between you winning a job and losing a job. So if your competition comes behind you and walk into the room and they say, oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how can I help? And they say, we want this room plastered. If they say, okay, no problem, we can remove the radiators, we can remove the power points, we can remove the lights, and we'll dispose of all the waste. We even clean down, hoover up and everything. Who would you choose? Now, of course, you might put in a higher price. For example, I'll charge 45 quid for whipping a radiator off the wall. And I don't normally put them back. But in this case, this lady lives on her own here. And I called her yesterday and I said, I'm going to be finishing tomorrow. Would you like me to put the radiator back? And she says, oh, I really would like it back for the winter, but I'm not going to have time to paint the wall. And I said, I'll tell you what, leave the paint there. I'll put the paint on before I put the radiator back. Now, again, you might be thinking, why should I? Why should I do that? Because you're doing what others are unprepared to do, and that's going to be what sets you apart in your local area, set you apart from all the other plasterers in the area that are all fighting and hungry for the work. It's going to set you apart. Now, if you're a brand new business starting in 2023, which is a brave move, I started in 2008, my plastering business, and everyone around me told me I was stupid, said it was a foolish thing to do. We were in a recession, and it was a struggle at times, but I learned quickly that if I differentiate myself from the competition, if I'm willing to do more, if I'm willing to do what they're not willing to do, go that extra mile, make sure that I'm cleaner, make sure that I'm better at communicating, make sure I'm faster at responding to the texts and the emails and the phone calls. All these little touches that are going to give the customer peace of mind. You're going to destroy problems. So rather than you going in the room and creating another problem, for example, saying you need a plumber, they're not thinking I need a plumber, they just want their room skimmed. Now they're thinking I've got to get a plumber out just to remove one radiator. We all know how busy plumbers are. Who's going to want to come out to take a radiator off? They're not going to want to do that. They're looking for the bathroom refits and the boiler installs. They're not going to come out and whip a radiator off. Now, some people will take their own radiators off if they've got, you know, a handyman in the family or whatever. And if that's the case, I'll always say, get them to do it, which is brilliant. But if there's a person, if there's a lady living on her own, or if they're elderly, they're not going to be able to get that radiator off. And the chances of them finding a plumber at short notice to get the radiator off, they could be in for a bit of a mess around, is what I'm saying, guys. So just learn the skills. It's so easy. In fact, I'm going to smash a video out next week showing you how I take rads off and how I avoid leaks. So that's the tip for today, guys. Go above and beyond for your clients. And if you're brand new and you've only got 1 or 2 jobs booked in, you're anxious and you're nervous, leverage those 2 jobs. Make them the best jobs you've ever done. Make them the cleanest. Make the walls immaculate. Get that 5-star review from your client. Screenshot it, fire it across your socials, leverage that review, because that review is gold dust. That review is trust. If you can gain trust, you can leverage that trust. So when people online, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Google, wherever they are, and they see that someone's left you a review, that's going to speak volumes for you. It could be the difference between them phoning you and not phoning you. So I hope that helps, guys. Go above and beyond. Do what your competition is unwilling to do. Be faster. Be faster on the responses. Hit your marketing hard. Don't just put a post out every couple of weeks on your Facebook page, a little photo, and think that's going to be enough in 2023. It's not going to do it. Batter your marketing. Hammer it. Go on there live. Do what it takes to generate leads, because if everyone's fighting for a piece of that cake, you want to make sure that you're in the front of the line, and you do that by just becoming more aggressive with your marketing. Get more eyeballs on your business. Hope that helps, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tune in next week for the radiator removal video. Have a great week, and I shall catch you next time.